Hello everyone, and welcome to day 5 of this Jon Boat Restoration project. What are we going to have to do today? The first thing we need to do is install the front deck. Before we do that, we have to run the wires for the trolling motor and the fish finder. They're going to be mounted here on the front part of the boat. We also, after mounting the deck, we'll have to mount the trolling motor and that fish finder. We have to do a couple little pieces of trim. We need to cut out the hole for the compartment up front here. We need to do some final installation back here. That back flap for the engine compartment needs to be installed, as well as securing the front decks and the back decks with screws like they were attached before. Finally, we need to put in all the little pieces of hardware that we took off. For example, the cleats that go all the way around the boat, and some other items such as lighting. Hopefully we can get done today, but if not, we'll have to come back another day and finish it up. But this is the home stretch of this project. Thanks for staying with us all these days, and I hope you learned something, because I sure did. Let's get started. All right, before you put the decks on, you're going to have to complete as much as you can with the decks off. In this case, we're going to have to finish the carpet. You can see there's the hole for the carpet, and we're going to have to roll this and attach it with adhesive. The other thing we have to do is complete the wiring for the trolling motor and the fish finders. We'll do all that. We'll come back in a second and I'll show you what I've done. Okay, let's get you caught up with where I am so far. We've mounted the bracket, or the mount, to the trolling motor, and that's here right there. And we've gotten the rough wiring for the trolling motor already ran, and you can see I have quite a contraption here for this opening that I had to glue the carpet. I used wood pieces to hold it into place, and clamps all the way around. That way it's being held on tight, so it allows it to dry. The next step is to place the deck on the front end, so we know exactly where to cut our holes to run the wiring for the trolling motor. You could just run it on top of the deck, but I decided to make it a little bit cleaner and hide all the wiring, so that's the next step. As you can see, I've placed the front deck where it's supposed to go, but I haven't screwed it down yet, because we have to mount we actually have to cut the hole for the trolling motor wires to run underneath. So what I've done is, I don't want to just cut the hole anywhere. I want to make sure that that the placement of the foot pedal is in a comfortable place. So what I've done is, I've attached the seat, and I sat there, and I moved the foot pedal to the exact location where I can reach it from any direction. And as you can see, I used tape to mark exactly where the foot pedal is going to go, because once you stand up, it's obviously not screwed down, so it's going to move. So the next step is to get all this off there and cut a hole for the wire to pass through. Sometimes when you're doing a project like this, you have to make some adaptations throughout the way. For example, when I placed the front deck on to check where to mount the foot pedal, I noticed that there was a gap in between where the front deck was, and you could see all the way through to the red portion where we painted. The reason it wasn't there before is because this carpet is a lot thinner than the carpet we took off. So when we put the deck back on, there was a little bit of a gap, and it kind of looked didn't look very good. So what I decided to do is go ahead and place an additional strip of carpet along the side here. So whenever we put the front deck on, you won't see the red. All you'll see is carpet. Another thing that's going to slow us down is, when I tried to hook up the trolling motor, I noticed that the power wasn't working. I couldn't get power all the way up to the front, so I checked the cords with, you can see here, it's stuck in the styrofoam right now, but that's a power tester. You just stick it on the negative and then poke the power tester on the live wire and see if there's any power. We didn't see any, so we checked it up here and didn't have any. When we went back to the back where the battery was, we checked it and it was coming out of the battery, and it was going into the cord that should run to the back of the boat. Probably what happened is when we ran some of our wire, we dislodged the power cord somewhere. So that slowed us down, because now we're going to have to rerun wire from the back of the boat to the front of the boat. The one good thing is it just puts all new wire in there, so you know it's good wire. But that did slow us down. Since we didn't have any extra wire to run from the back of the boat to the front of the boat, we decided to skip the step for today, skip the step of mounting the front deck. What that did is it allowed us time to do things that we would have done later. So that's what we did. We added the cleats. You can see there's 4 cleats. There's one over there, one here, and then 2 in the back. We also attached the back flap to the back deck. One thing I also did is attach the back deck using screws. We used 2.5 inch long screws and drilled holes, pre-drilled holes with a metal bit, so it goes through the wood and then through the frame of the boat to attach it. Now these screws could go through the wood, so what we did is we used these things called finish washers. You can see the pack here. They come 12 to a pack. They're about 98 cents, so it's well worth it. And what it does is it gives you a clean finish look, but it also protects it so the screw doesn't go through the carpet. That's what we did with the back deck, and that's what we will do with the front deck. Okay, we've come to the end of day 5. Day 5 was a lesson in project management. Anytime you do a project like this, you're bound to hit some roadblocks or speed bumps, and we hit one today. The biggest problem we had today was the fact that the wires running to the trolling motor did not have power. So we can't go any further on the front deck until we have new power lines run to the front of the boat. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough wire to do that. But we did get the front trolling motor mounted, and we had to use some spacers, some rubber spacers, to make sure it was level when we mounted it. Anytime you have it canted in one way or another or twisted, it affects the stowing and deploying of the trolling motor. So that's mounted. We got some extra pieces of carpet mounted to make it look a little better. We got the back deck screwed all the way in, and we got the cleats in. Wish we would have been able to do more today, but because of this little hitch in our progress, we won't be able to. What that'll do is it'll allow time for my hole there for the hatch to dry. We can go ahead and keep going on that. Take those off. I'm going to leave it overnight. That way, I'm sure that the adhesive has set. Otherwise, a little disappointed in the progress today because of the problem we had with the wiring, but we did get some stuff done. So this will take at least one more day, and depending on how hard it is to run the wires, maybe 2. But otherwise, it's coming to a close, like I said the last time. But we just had a little bit of a speed bump in the road of this project, and now we have to deal with it. So stay tuned. There's going to be another installment coming up in a week or 2, and hopefully we can get it done.